Are America's favorite chain restaurants still worth your trust or your appetite? In 2025, the once iconic names in fast food and casual dining are facing a steep decline, and it's not just a bad Yelp review here and there. We're talking about health code violations, legal battles, bankruptcies, and scandals that could fill a novel. Behind the flashy ads and celebrity endorsements lies a harsh reality: smaller portions, higher prices, questionable cleanliness, and food quality that feels more like a gamble than a meal. Customers are walking in with hope and walking out with regret, and sometimes worse. So, what's really going on? Why are these household names losing loyal diners at record speed? Stick around as we uncover the 15 chain restaurants that are falling from grace in 2025. It's a story of decline you won't want to miss. 15. Olive Garden, the fall of the breadstick empire. Once hailed as the go-to spot for endless breadsticks and bottomless salad, Olive Garden was the chain that convinced America it was getting a taste of Italy without the airfare. But in 2025, the only thing endless about Olive Garden is the wave of bad reviews. For decades, Olive Garden thrived on its reputation as a family-friendly restaurant offering hearty pasta dishes at prices that didn't require a second mortgage. But times have changed, and so has the perception of this once beloved chain. Customers now complain that the Alfredo sauce has the consistency of paste, the breadsticks arrive cold and soggy, and the salads are more iceberg lettuce than anything remotely flavorful. One particularly scathing review summed it up: "This is where tomatoes come to die." The problems don't stop at taste. Reports of aggressive cost-cutting measures have surfaced, with rumors that fresh herbs have been replaced entirely by dried parsley flakes. Portion sizes have shrunk dramatically, while prices have soared. What used to be a $9 plate of spaghetti is now a $16 dish that tastes like it was reheated in a microwave. The numbers tell the story too. Parent company Darden Restaurants reported a 4% drop in same-store sales in late 2024, one of the steepest declines in the casual dining sector. Meanwhile, smaller Italian eateries and local restaurants are thriving, leaving Olive Garden looking like a relic of a bygone era. Once a staple of suburban dining, Olive Garden now feels like a time capsule where the only thing authentic is the disappointment. 14. Cracker Barrel, from roadside comfort to roadside regret. Cracker Barrel was once the quintessential stop for road trippers seeking comfort food and a dose of nostalgia. With its iconic rocking chairs, country store aesthetic, and hearty southern meals, it was a slice of Americana. But by 2025, Cracker Barrel has gone from a beloved roadside staple to a fading relic struggling to stay relevant. The food, once the chain's main draw, has become a frequent source of complaint. Customers report biscuits that are dry and crumbly, fried chicken that tastes like it's been sitting under a heat lamp for hours, and plates that arrive lukewarm at best. One reviewer didn't hold back, calling it Thanksgiving dinner at a gas station. The atmosphere, which used to feel cozy and inviting, now feels outdated and awkward. Younger diners find the old-timey country store vibe unrelatable, while older customers are growing tired of declining service and inconsistent food quality. The charm that once set Cracker Barrel apart now feels like a gimmick that's run its course. Financially, the chain is in trouble. Sales dropped 7% year-over-year in 2024, and the company announced plans to close dozens of underperforming locations in 2025. Labor shortages have only made things worse, with some dining rooms half empty, not because of a lack of customers, but because there aren't enough staff to serve them. Adding to the woes are scandals, including accusations of discriminatory hiring practices and viral videos showing shockingly unkempt kitchens. Competitors like Panera Bread and Chick-fil-A are siphoning off breakfast and lunch crowds with fresher food, faster service, and fewer controversies. Cracker Barrel once thrived on nostalgia, but in 2025, nostalgia isn't enough when the pancakes taste like cardboard and the syrup is sticky for all the wrong reasons. 13. Chili's, from sizzle to fizzle. Chili's was once the life of the casual dining party, known for its sizzling fajitas, iconic baby back ribs jingle, and a menu that seemed to have something for everyone. But in 2025, the party is over, and Chili's is struggling to keep the lights on. The food, once a highlight, has become a major point of contention. Customers complain about fajitas that arrive cold, ribs that are tough and flavorless, and margaritas that taste more like watered-down lime juice than a proper cocktail. The chain's once popular 2 for $25 deal has lost its appeal, with inflation turning it into something closer to 2 for $40, leaving diners feeling shortchanged. The dining experience itself has also taken a hit. Sticky tables, overworked servers, and a general sense of neglect have become common complaints. One viral review didn't mince words, stating, "Chili's food tastes like the microwave at a gas station, decided to open a restaurant." In an attempt to stay relevant, Chili's has chased trends like TikTok-inspired cocktails and endless queso nights, but these efforts have only highlighted the chain's desperation. Meanwhile, competitors like Texas Roadhouse and even Applebee's have managed to outpace Chili's by offering better value, fresher food, and a more enjoyable dining experience. The financial picture isn't any rosier. Parent company Brinker International has been bleeding cash across its portfolio, and Chili's sales have slid nearly 5% over the past year. What was once a fun, mid-tier dining option now feels like a last resort, the kind of place you end up at only because every other restaurant nearby is closed. Chili's used to be a celebration, now it's just the hangover. 12. IHOP, the pancake problem. IHOP, once the king of breakfast chains and a Sunday morning staple, has become a shadow of its former self in 2025. Known for its fluffy pancakes and comforting breakfast platters, the International House of Pancakes now seems to be serving up more disappointment than delight. The food, which was once the heart of IHOP's appeal, has taken a nosedive. Customers frequently complain about rubbery pancakes, watery eggs, and coffee that taste more like burnt sludge than a morning pick-me-up. One particularly brutal review quipped, "I came for a grand slam breakfast and left with a grand slam of regret." Service issues only add to the frustration, with long waits, missing sides, and cold bacon becoming all too common. But IHOP's problems go beyond the food. The brand has struggled with its identity ever since the infamous IHOP rebranding attempt, where it tried to pivot to burgers. That marketing disaster still haunts the chain, leaving customers confused about what IHOP really stands for. Sales have been steadily declining, with reports showing a 6% drop in traffic in 2020. In an effort to win back diners, IHOP has leaned heavily on gimmicks like pancake tacos, cereal-flavored syrups, and all-you-can-eat pancake promotions. While these ideas might sound fun, they fall flat when the first bite tastes like cardboard. Meanwhile, competitors like Denny's are thriving with lower prices and fresher options, while local brunch spots are stealing the spotlight with craft coffee, farm-to-table menus, and Instagram-worthy aesthetics. IHOP's outdated decor doesn't help either. The fluorescent lights, sticky vinyl booths, and tired menus make it feel like you've stepped into a time capsule from the 1990s. While the chain still draws late-night crowds when nothing else is open, it's no longer the go-to breakfast destination it once was. In 2025, IHOP isn't flipping happiness, it's flipping disappointment. 11. Outback Steakhouse, the Bloomin' decline. Outback Steakhouse, once the exotic darling of casual dining, has lost its shine and known for its Australian-inspired menu and iconic bloomin' onion. The chain was once a place where families and friends gathered for hearty meals and a touch of adventure. But now, Outback feels more like a relic of the past than a dining destination. The food, which was once the star of the show, has become a major letdown. Customers complain about steaks that are overcooked, under-seasoned, and shockingly small for the price. One diner lamented, "I asked for medium rare and got a piece of charcoal." Even the bloomin' onion, once a fan favorite, has lost its appeal, with many saying it's more grease than flavor. Financially, Outback is struggling to stay afloat. Parent company Bloomin' Brands reported a 6% drop in traffic in 2024 and announced the closure of over 40 locations. Even their once popular steak and lobster promotions have failed to draw crowds, with diners criticizing the frozen lobster tails for their rubbery texture and lack of flavor. Competitors like Texas Roadhouse and Longhorn Steakhouse are thriving by offering larger portions, fresher ingredients, and better service. Outback, on the other hand, feels stuck in a time warp. The dim lighting, fake boomerangs on the walls, and outdated menu make it feel like the chain hasn't evolved since the early 2000s. In 2025, Outback Steakhouse is no longer the exciting dining experience it once was. Instead of saying, "Let's go Outback tonight," customers are saying, "Let's go anywhere else." 10. Golden Corral, the buffet blues. Golden Corral, once the king of all-you-can-eat dining, has become a cautionary tale in 2025. Known for its endless buffet options, the chain was a paradise for anyone who couldn't decide between steak, pizza, or mashed potatoes. But today, Golden Corral is more about endless regret than endless choice. The food, which was once the main draw, has become a frequent source of complaints. Diners report mac and cheese that's more like soup, steak that's tough as leather, and desserts that taste like they've been sitting out for days. One particularly horrifying review mentioned finding a Band-Aid in the chocolate fountain, a story that has haunted the chain ever since. The pandemic dealt a significant blow to buffet-style dining, and Golden Corral has struggled to recover. Customers are less inclined to pile food onto a tray while strangers cough nearby, and the chain's rising food costs have led to smaller portions and lower quality offerings. The once bustling carving stations and dessert bars now feel like a sad reminder of what the chain used to be. The atmosphere doesn't help either. Many locations are run down, with flickering lights, sticky carpets, and bathrooms that seem to have been neglected for decades. Financially, the chain is in dire straits. Dozens of locations closed in 2024, and corporate admitted to a nearly 9% drop in traffic year over year. Meanwhile, competitors like Texas de Brazil and smaller regional buffets are thriving by offering upscale or niche dining experiences. Golden Corral, on the other hand, feels like it's stuck in the past, serving up lukewarm food in an environment that's anything but appetizing. In 2025, Golden Corral isn't just a buffet, it's a gamble. 9 TGI Fridays, the forgotten party. There was a time when TGI Fridays was the ultimate hangout spot. A place where flair-wearing bartenders flipped bottles, loaded potato skins were the height of indulgence, and half-priced appetizers made every Friday feel like a celebration. Fast forward to 2025, and Fridays has lost its spark, becoming more of a sad afterthought than the life of the party. The food, once a major draw, has become a source of disappointment. Customers complain about steaks that taste like they've been reheated in a microwave, mozzarella sticks that drip with grease instead of cheese, and cocktails that are more sugar than substance. One viral review didn't hold back, stating, "TGI Fridays is where food goes to retire." The chain's attempts to modernize its menu with trendy items and celebrity collaborations have done little to mask the underlying issues of inconsistent quality and uninspired flavors. Financially, the chain is in trouble. In 2024, TGI Fridays closed over 30 locations, including some international spots, as same-store sales plummeted nearly 10%. Management has tried to stay relevant by chasing social media trends, introducing TikTok-inspired menu items, and revamping its branding, but these efforts have largely fallen flat. Slow service, understaffed kitchens, and an outdated vibe have left customers unimpressed. Even the once iconic decor, neon signs, license plates, and random sports memorabilia now feels more like a cluttered thrift store than a welcoming restaurant. Competitors like Chili's and Applebee's have managed to adapt and stay competitive, but Fridays seems stuck in the past. For many, it's no longer a destination but a last resort. The kind of place you end up at when every other option is unavailable. Once the go-to spot for a fun night out, TGI Fridays now feels like the awkward uncle trying to stay relevant on social media. Spoiler alert, it's not working. 8. Chains, the faux luxury letdown. P.F. Chang's was once the crown jewel of upscale casual dining, offering a blend of Americanized Asian cuisine in a setting that felt just fancy enough for a special night out. With its dim lighting, towering stone horse statues, and signature lettuce wraps, the chain had a winning formula. But in 2025, the magic has faded, and P.F. Chang's feels more like a relic than a destination. The food, which was once the star of the show, has become a major point of contention. Diners frequently complain about dry orange chicken, rubbery dumplings, and lettuce wraps that taste like soggy cardboard. One scathing review summed it up perfectly. P.F. Chang's is what happens when Panda Express tries to go fine dining. The chain's rising prices haven't helped either. With entrees now averaging $20 to $25, customers are questioning whether the experience is worth the cost, especially when the food quality doesn't match the premium price tag. Service issues have only added to the chain's woes. Staffing shortages have led to long waits, missing orders, and dishes arriving cold after extended delays. The once upscale ambiance now feels dated, with faux Asian decor that hasn't aged well in a world where diners are gravitating toward more authentic and modern dining experiences. The numbers tell a grim story. In late 2024, P.F. Chang's reported an 8% drop in traffic, and several high-profile urban locations were shuttered due to poor performance. Meanwhile, independent ramen shops, Korean barbecue joints, and trendy bubble tea cafes are thriving, offering younger diners the authenticity and innovation they crave. What was once an aspirational dining experience has become an overpriced disappointment. In 2025, P.F. Chang's is less about luxury and more about microwaved Kung Pao chicken, served with a side of regret. 7. Dairy Queen, the meltdown. Dairy Queen has long been a symbol of small-town charm and childhood nostalgia. It's the place where kids got their first ice cream cone, families gathered for blizzards, and burgers came with a side of warm memories. But in 2025, DQ is melting faster than its soft serve on a scorching summer day. The food, which was never the chain's strong suit, has become downright depressing. Customers describe the burgers as greasy and flavorless, the fries as tasting like freezer burn, and the hot dogs as something that should come with a warning label. Even the ice cream, once Dairy Queen's saving grace, has lost its luster. Complaints about melted blizzards, broken machines, and skimpy toppings have driven customers to seek out alternatives like Culver's and Freddy's, which deliver on both quality and nostalgia. The financial picture isn't any better. In 2024, franchise owners voiced concerns about shrinking profit margins and rising dairy costs, which forced menu prices to climb while quality continued to decline. A blizzard that once felt like a treat now costs $6 or $7, leaving customers wondering if they'd be better off splurging on gelato or heading to a local ice cream shop. The atmosphere doesn't help either. Many Dairy Queen locations look like they're stuck in the 1980s, with faded signage, sticky booths, and a general sense of neglect. What was once a beloved community gathering spot now feels like a tired relic of the past. In 2025, Dairy Queen is no longer the cool treat it once was. Instead, it's become the chain nobody craves, a place where nostalgia can't mask the disappointment. 6. Panera Bread. The crumbling halo. Panera Bread was once the darling of suburban dining, a place where health-conscious moms and remote workers could enjoy a clean meal in a cozy cafe setting. Known for its soups, salads, and sandwiches, Panera marketed itself as the healthier, more sophisticated alternative to fast food. But in 2025, the cracks in Panera's reputation are impossible to ignore, and the chain is unraveling faster than a stale baguette. The food, once Panera's pride, has become its Achilles heel. Customers are growing increasingly frustrated with overpriced meals that fail to deliver on quality. Those $12 to $15 salad, they're little more than a pile of iceberg lettuce, a few sad cherry tomatoes, and a sprinkle of protein. If you're lucky, sandwiches have shrunk to laughable proportions, leaving diners wondering if they accidentally ordered off the kids' menu. The once popular Pick 2 combo now feels like a Pick 2 disappointment, with prices nearing $20 for a half sandwich and a bowl of soup that some say tastes like dishwater. One viral review summed it up perfectly. I paid $15 for a meal that left me hungrier than when I walked in. Panera's problems don't stop at the food. The chain faced a major scandal in late 2023 when its charged lemonade was revealed to contain more caffeine than 3 Red Bulls, leading to lawsuits after several customers experienced heart-related health issues. This PR nightmare has tarnished Panera's image as a brand that promotes food with integrity. Financially, the chain is struggling. Sales dipped 5% in 2024, and franchisees have filed lawsuits alleging mismanagement. Even Panera's much-hyped digital ordering kiosks, once seen as a game-changer, have become a source of frustration due to glitches, incorrect orders, and long wait times. Meanwhile, competitors like Sweet Green, Cava, and even Chick-fil-A are stealing Panera's market share by offering fresher, more satisfying meals at comparable prices. What was once a safe bet for a quick, healthy meal has become an overpriced disappointment. In 2025, Panera Bread feels less like a cafe and more like a cautionary tale. 5. Shake Shack, the overpriced burger bust. Shake Shack burst onto the scene as the upscale alternative to fast food, offering artisanal burgers, crinkle-cut fries, and milkshakes that felt like a treat rather than a guilty pleasure. For years, it was the go-to spot for foodies and hipsters alike, a place where quality and style met in perfect harmony. But in 2025, Shake Shack's shine has dulled, and the chain is struggling to justify its premium price tag. The first issue is the cost. In many cities, a burger, fries, and shake combo at Shake Shack now costs upwards of $20, making it more expensive than some sit-down restaurants with full table service. And while customers might be willing to pay a premium for exceptional food, Shake Shack's quality has taken a noticeable hit. Burgers often arrive lukewarm. Buns are soggy, and the once crispy fries are now undercooked and disappointing. One scathing review put it bluntly: "For $118, I got a sad McDonald's impersonation in a fancy wrapper." The chain's financial struggles reflect its declining reputation. In 2024, Shake Shack reported a 6% drop in traffic, with inflation squeezing margins and driving customers toward cheaper alternatives. Limited-time menu items like the Korean barbecue burger and hot honey chicken sandwich have failed to reignite interest, as diners are increasingly dissatisfied with the core menu. Service issues have only added to the frustration. Long wait times, missing items in delivery orders, and understaffed kitchens have become common complaints. Meanwhile, competitors like Five Guys, In-N-Out, and Culver's are thriving by offering better value, larger portions, and more consistent quality. Shake Shack once positioned itself as the future of fast food, but in 2025 it feels more like a failed experiment. Overhyped, overpriced, and underwhelming, Shake Shack is losing its grip on the burger crown. For Hooters, the wings and things that time forgot. Hooters built its brand on a simple formula: wings, beer, and a side of cheeky fun. For decades, it was a cultural icon, a place where sports fans and families alike could enjoy a casual meal in a lively atmosphere. But in 2025, Hooters feels less like a fun night out and more like a relic of a bygone era, struggling to stay relevant in a rapidly changing dining landscape. The food, which was never the chain's main draw, has become a major liability. Customers frequently complain about wings that taste freezer-burned, fries that are soggy with oil, and sandwiches that look like they've been sitting under a heat lamp for hours. One particularly brutal review quipped, "I've had better wings at a gas station." Financially, Hooters is in freefall. The chain has closed over 100 locations since 2018, and in 2024 several franchise groups reported negative sales growth. Attempts to modernize the brand, such as the launch of Hoots, a fast casual spin-off, have largely failed, proving that the Hooters concept doesn't work without its signature gimmick. The demographic shift has been equally brutal. Younger diners, particularly Gen Z, are uninterested in Hooters' outdated branding and mediocre food. Chains like Wingstop, Buffalo Wild Wings, and local sports bars are dominating the market by focusing on quality food and a more inclusive atmosphere. Meanwhile, Hooters' reliance on its edgy image has aged poorly, coming across as awkward and out of touch in 2025. Once a cultural phenomenon, Hooters is now a shadow of its former self. With forgettable food, a dwindling audience, and branding that feels more cringeworthy than clever, Hooters is struggling to find its place in a world that has moved on. 3. Little Caesars. The crust is crumbling. Little Caesars built its empire on one simple promise: cheap pizza, hot and ready whenever you needed it. For years, it was the go-to option for broke college students, busy parents, and anyone willing to trade quality for convenience. But in 2025, the cracks in Little Caesars' business model are glaringly obvious, and the chain is struggling to stay relevant in a competitive pizza market. The food has always been a point of contention, but customer complaints have reached a fever pitch. Many describe the pizza as tasting like cardboard, topped with a questionable cheese-like substance and pepperoni, so greasy it could double as an oil slick. One viral review didn't hold back, stating, "The box had more flavor than the pizza." And then there are the scandals. In 2024, health inspectors uncovered multiple violations at various locations, including dough being stored on the floor next to mop buckets. Social media had a field day, with captions like "Bone Appetite" turning the chain into a laughingstock. Little Caesars' reputation took another hit when an old photo resurfaced of a location caught with a shopping cart full of frozen DiGiorno pizzas near the counter. While the incident happened years ago, the internet never forgets, and the chain has struggled to shake off the embarrassment. Financially, Little Caesars is treading water. Same-store sales have stagnated for 3 consecutive years, while competitors like Domino's, Pizza Hut, and Papa John's have surged ahead by investing in better apps, faster delivery systems, and improved recipes. Little Caesars, on the other hand, has doubled down on gimmicks like the Crazy Calzini, a bizarre pizza calzone hybrid that looks more like a culinary crime scene than a meal. In 2025, Little Caesars isn't just losing customers, it's losing relevance. What was once a quick and cheap option now feels like a last resort. A chain that's lukewarm in every sense of the word. 2. Popeyes. The chicken chaos continues. Popeyes made headlines in 2019 with its viral chicken sandwich, sparking a frenzy that saw customers lining up for hours, brawling in parking lots, and turning the chain into a cultural phenomenon. But in 2025, the chaos hasn't subsided. It's just become exhausting. While the food remains a highlight, everything else about the Popeyes experience is driving customers away. The service at Popeyes has become notoriously bad, with complaints of long wait times, incorrect orders, and employees who seem more overworked than engaged. One viral review captured the frustration perfectly. "They yelled my name and threw my bag like I was being evicted." Another customer summed it up with, "Best chicken of my life. Worst service of my life." These issues are reflected in the numbers. Popeyes scored a dismal 72 out of 100 in the 2024 Customer Satisfaction Index, ranking near the bottom of the fast food industry. Labor scandals have only added to the chain's troubles. Popeyes has faced multiple lawsuits accusing franchisees of underpaying workers and fostering toxic work environments. Supply chain issues have also plagued the brand, with several locations running out of chicken in 2024. Evoking memories of the infamous 2009 no-chicken incident that led to customers calling 911 in frustration. Meanwhile, competitors like Chick-fil-A and KFC are thriving. Chick-fil-A continues to dominate with its exceptional service and loyal customer base, while KFC has revitalized its menu with offerings like Nashville Hot Chicken. Popeyes, by contrast, feels stuck in a cycle of mismanagement and missed opportunities. In 2025, Popeyes still has the flavor, but the overall experience leaves a bitter taste. For many customers, it's no longer love that chicken from Popeyes. It's love that regret. One McDonald's, the golden arches tarnished. McDonald's is the undisputed giant of fast food, a global icon with a presence in nearly every corner of the world. But in 2025, the golden arches are looking a little tarnished, as the chain faces mounting criticism and declining customer satisfaction. Being everywhere doesn't mean being loved, and McDonald's is learning that the hard way. Let's start with the numbers. In 2024, McDonald's hit rock bottom in customer satisfaction, scoring just 70 out of 100, the lowest of any major fast food chain. Reviews are brutal, with one customer quipping, "If disappointment had a flavor, it'd be Filet-O-Fish." Complaints about cold fries, inconsistent quality, and smaller portions have become commonplace. Even the once iconic fries are under fire, with many saying they've lost their signature crispiness and now taste like regret. And then there's the infamous ice cream machine saga. McDonald's broken McFlurry machines have become such a meme that the FTC launched an investigation into the shady repair contracts behind them. Despite the scrutiny, the machines continue to break down, fueling jokes that no one has actually eaten a McFlurry since the early 2000s. Corporate scandals have further tarnished McDonald's image. Former CEO Steve Easterbrook was fired for lying about inappropriate relationships with employees, a scandal that cost him over $100 million in severance pay. Labor strikes and lawsuits over wage theft, union busting, and unsafe working conditions have also plagued the chain, painting a picture of a company that prioritizes profits over people. Meanwhile, competitors are eating McDonald's lunch. Chick-fil-A dominates in service and customer loyalty. Wendy's wins on flavor and social media savvy, and Taco Bell thrives on its chaotic but effective marketing. McDonald's, by contrast, feels stuck in a legacy of mediocrity, relying on nostalgia and ubiquity to stay afloat. In 2025, McDonald's is still the biggest name in fast food, but its reputation is crumbling. The golden arches may still shine, but for many customers, they no longer represent quality or satisfaction. They represent disappointment.